Welcome to SATV News. This is Anaf Hussain with our headlines. Pedestrian killed as bearing pad fells. Farmgate 5-member committee formed. Uttara Agarga metro operations resume. BNP rejects RPO Amendment 6 right to choose symbols for alliance candidates. SIM registration limit to be reduced before election, says Home Affairs advisor. Steps will be taken to stop instability. Now, in details. A pedestrian was killed after a bearing pad fell from a metro rail pillar near Farmgate station in the capital on Sunday noon, prompting authorities to suspend metro services. The incident took place around 12:15 p.m. in front of the Bangladesh Agricultural Institute, adjacent to the Farmgate metro station, said Tejka police station officer in charge Mubarak Hussain. Sub-Inspector Nazrul Islam said they had informed metro authorities about the fallen bearing metro pad. Metro services have been halted for now and legal procedures are underway. After recovering the body, he added, the deceased was identified as Abul Kalam Azad, a resident of Kishorkhati village in Naria Upazila of Shariatpur district. Witnesses said a heavy metal object suddenly fell from above and struck the man on the head while he was walking past the area. He suffered critical injuries and severe bleeding on the spot, and locals rushed him to nearby hospital, where doctors declared him dead. According to Dhaka Mass Transit Company Limited (DTCL), metro services between Uttara and Matijil were suspended from 12:30 p.m. following the incident. The BNP leader sent a letter to the Election Commission (EC) objecting to its decision that candidates in electoral alliance must contest national elections under their own party symbol. The party sent a letter to Chief Election Commissioner CEC AMM Nasiruddin. Today, BNP Media Cell member Shairul Kabir Khan confirmed the matter, urging the previous provision in Article 20 of the RPO be maintained. The BNP urges that no political party has proposed this amendment and that it undermines democratic rights. Home Affairs advisor MD Jahangir Alam Chaudhary has said the government will reduce the number of mobile SIM cards allowed per person before the upcoming national election. Currently, a subscriber can use up to 10 SIM cards under a single national ID card. The limit will be brought down to between 5 and 7 before the election, with a long-term plan to reduce it further to 2, the advisor said. After the 15th meeting of the Law and Order Advisory Council Committee, held at the Ministry of Home Advisor. Today, a decision was made by all concerned. They reduced the number of SIMs that can be used at the personal level. The ICT advisor was invited to the meeting for the purpose. He said, explaining the move, the Jahangir Alam Chaudhary said, "You know that mobile SIMs are often misused. A SIM may be registered in one person's name but used by another." There is a vast potential for expanding trade, connectivity and investment between Bangladesh and Pakistan. Visiting chairman of Pakistan's Joint Chief of Staff Committee CJSC, General Shahir Shamsud Mirza, has said during a courtesy call on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at the State Guest House, Jamuna, late Saturday. He emphasized the shared historical culture and people-to-people ties between the two countries. General Mirza expressed Pakistan's desire to strengthen cooperation in multiple sectors. Our two countries will support each other, General Mirza said. He also added that a two-way shipping route between Karachi and Chittagong has already begun operations, while the Dhaka-Karachi air route is expected to open within months. Army Chief General Waqar-uz-Zaman today expressed hope that Army engineers will continue to play a vital role in the country's development with honesty, integrity and dedication. He made the remarks while addressing the annual Commanders Conference 2025 of the Corps of Engineers at the Engineer Center and School of Military Engineering in Kadirabad Cantonment, Nator. According to a press release issued by the Inter-Service Public Relations ISPR, earlier in the day, the Army Chief was formally inducted as the 9th Colonel Commandant of the Corps of Engineers at a ceremony held at the same venue. At least 6 people suffered burn injuries in an explosion at a dyeing factory in the BSCIC's industrial estate of Fatula, Narayanganj this morning. They were admitted to National Institute of Burn and Plastic Surgery in Dhaka, said Dr. Shaun bin Rahman, resident surgeon of the institute. The extent of the burns will be determined after assessment, he told journalists around 11:15 a.m. The injured have been identified as factory workers Alamin, Azizullah, MD Salim, MD Jalal Mullah, MD Nazmul Huda, and security supervisor Nur Muhammad. At least 3 people, including 2 school children, were killed and 5 others injured when a truck crashed into a battery-run 3-wheeler on the Dhaka-Pabna highway this morning. The deceased have been identified as Tasmia, daughter of Samsul Mullah, Nur Muhammad Toha, son of Ahmad Ali Sheikh, and Akram Ali Khan, the van puller. Tasmia and Toha are students of Class 4 and 5 students of a local school respectively. They hailed from Dhormagram and Gayashpur village in Pabna Sadar Upazila. Police and locals said a Pabna-bound bamboo-loaded truck rammed into the van around 6:30 a.m. when the 3-wheeler carrying school children was heading towards Baganbaria area. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
Glass, fiberglass swimming pool, relaxing spa, well-equipped gym. Experience panoramic beauty at SATV restaurant. Welcome to Grand Palace Hotel. Grand Palace Hotel and Resorts, Jollar Par, Zinda Bazar, Silet, Bangladesh.
বাংলাদেশে দীর্ঘ ৩৭ বছরের সাফল্যের অগ্রযাত্রায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন আধুনিক ও শৈল্পিক স্থাপত্য শিল্পের দেশ মালয়েশিয়ার কুয়ালালামপুরে। লাখো গ্রাহকদের প্রয়োজনের দিক লক্ষ্য রেখে নিশ্চিত বিশ্বস্ততা ও আন্তর্জাতিক মানের সেবা এখন ডোর টু ডোর। এসএ পরিবহন কুরিয়ার অ্যান্ড পার্সেল সার্ভিস SDN BHT 120 Jalanthun HS Lee 50050 কুয়ালালামপুর, মালয়েশিয়া। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস আপনার সেবায় সবসময়।
Explore the magnificent view of Rangpur.
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. News from abroad. Pakistan's defense minister said on Saturday he believes Pakistan wants peace, but that failure to reach an agreement during talks in Istanbul would open war. Days after both sides agreed to a ceasefire following deadly border clashes. The talks in Istanbul, which began on Saturday and are expected to continue into Sunday, mark the latest attempt by Pakistan and Afghanistan to prevent a relapse into violence after the worst border fighting since the Taliban 2021 takeover of Kabul. The talks are meant to devise a mechanism to enforce the Doha ceasefire longer term. Khawaja Muhammad Asif said that there had been no incidents in the 4 to 5 days since it was agreed, and both sides were complying with the truce. We have the option if no agreement takes place. We have an open war with them, he said in a televised remarks from Pakistan.
Asif, who led Pakistan's earlier stint in the province,
US President Donald Trump on Sunday told Southeast Asian leaders that his country would be a stronger partner for the region for many generations. Trump, addressing a US-ASEAN summit in Kuala Lumpur, said the United States have been golden age, adding our message to the nations of Southeast Asia is that the United States is with you 100%, and we are intent to be a strong partner for many generations.
The vibrant, tremendous economies of the United States and Southeast Asia has the potential to create a golden age for all our nations. To promote.
The second day of trade talks between the US and China was paving the way for a productive meeting between President Donald Trump and President Xi Jinping. Washington's top trade envoy said in Kuala Lumpur on Sunday, raising hopes of a deal between the two world's largest economy. US Trade Representatives Jamieson Greer and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent met with Chinese Vice Premier He living on the sidelines of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations for a fifth round of a person discussion since May, as both sides seek to de-escalate a trade war. I think that we are getting to a spot where the leaders will have a very productive meeting, we said as he stepped away from the talks to meet Trump. Also participating in talks is China's top trade negotiator, Li Changgang. As by a reporter, if rare earths were discussed at the talks, which started on Saturday. Greer said a broad range of topics were discussed, including extending the truce on trade measures. Both sides are looking to avert an escalation of their trade war after US President Donald Trump threatened new 100% tariffs on Chinese goods and other trade calls starting on November 1st, in retaliation for China's vastly expanded export controls on rare earth magnets and minerals. Trump arrived in the Malaysian capital on Sunday morning for the summit, his first stop in a 5-day Asia tour that is expected to culminate to a face-to-face with Xi in South Korea. A positive outcome for the Kuala Lumpur talks would remove roadblocks for the high-stakes meeting to take place on October 30th. East Timor's accession the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations follows a 14-year wait and thought its membership is not expected to be transformative. It represents a symbolic victory for its President Jose Ramos Horta and Prime Minister Sangiana Gusmoa. The heroes of its struggle for independence, its joining was formalized by ASEAN leaders at the opening of their annual summit in Kuala Lumpur on Sunday, where applause rang out as East Timor's flag was placed on the stage. An emotional Gusmao said it was a historic moment for the country with a new beginning that would bring immense opportunities for trade and investment. For the people who Timor-Leste, this is not only a dream raised, but a powerful affirmation of our journey, Gusmao said in a speech.
A truly united family of nations bound together.
The leaders of Thailand and Cambodia signed an expanded ceasefire deal on Sunday, watched over by US President Donald Trump, who landed in Malaysia for the ASEAN summit and to oversee a series of pivotal trade talks on the sidelines. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul and his Cambodian counterpart Hun Manet signed the agreement at a ceasefire ceremony in front of a sign that read "Delivering Peace." Building on a truce signed 3 months ago, this declaration, if fully implemented, will provide the building blocks for a lasting peace. But more importantly, it will begin the process of mending our ties. Argentines vote on Sunday in legislative elections that will test support for President Javier Milei's free market reforms and deep austerity measures and determine whether he was the backing to continue his economic overhaul. The president's party, La Libertad Avanza, aims to significantly boost its small minority in Congress to increase investor confidence in Milei's vision and maintain the support of US President Donald Trump, who recently provided Argentina with a healthy financial bailout but has threatened to pull away if Milei does not do well. Don't give up because we are halfway there, Milei told supporters at a closing campaign event in the port city of Rosario on Thursday. The Lavrov has transferred some of its most precious jewels to the Bank of France, according to French radio RTL, after an odious daylight haste last week exposed the famed museum's security vulnerability. The transfer of some precious items from the museum Apollo Gallery, home to the French crown jewels, was carried out on Friday under secret police escort. RTL said, citing unnamed sources, the Bank of France, which stores the country's gold reserves in a massive vault 27 meters below ground. It's just 50 meters away from the Lavrov, on the right bank of the River Seine. The Lavrov and the Bank of France did not immediately respond to our writer's question. The thieves stole 8 precious pieces worth an estimated $102 million from the Lavrov's collection on October 19th, exposing security lapses as they broke into the world's most visited museum using a crane to smash an upstairs windows during opening hours. They escaped on motorbikes. News of robbery reverberated around the world, prompting soul-searching in France over what some viewed as national humiliation. Viewers, pedestrian killed as bearing pad fails at Farmgate. 5 members committee formed Uttara Agaga Metro operations resume. BNP rejects RPO Amendment 6 right to choose symbols for alliance candidates. SIM registration limit to be reduced before election, says Home Advisor. Steps will be taken to stop instability. You're up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with us.